Well, we will go ahead and get started. We've got another jam-packed session for you all here today. We want to welcome you all to our last live product update of 2023. My name is Taylor Crosby. I'm the Director of Marketing. So I'll be on here helping to answer questions. So feel free to add those at any time into the chat or into the Q&A. And we will be sure to get them all answered in our live Q&A at the end of the presentation here with Eric. So as always, too, you can always find our upcoming webinars at jobtread.com/webinars. And we will put the recording of this and all of our webinars up on our website, in the app, and on our YouTube channel. And without further ado, I will introduce our founder and CEO, Eric Fortenberry. Eric, take it away.
All right, welcome everyone. I'm so excited for another JobTread Live product update. These are the things that really get me going. As all of y'all know, I have trouble sleeping probably like the whole week coming up to this, but we've got a lot of great stuff to show today. So I'm going to dive into it now. One really just amazing, incredible milestone, that I want to share really all year has been just milestone after milestone. Back in January, we had just hit 1,000 active customers. As of November, we hit 2,000, sitting right at 2,200 active customers on JobTread right now. This has been a huge feat. Thank you all so much for helping us create the awareness and for bringing so many more contractors and builders to JobTread. Another really neat thing, in January at JobTread Connect, I announced that we had just hit 500 million in jobs have been sold and managed on JobTread. And we are now in October, we hit 2 billion. Right now, we're over $2.5 billion of jobs have been sold and managed on JobTread. This is awesome. We have a dashboard in our office. We love seeing every day all of the approved jobs, all of the invoices getting paid. Like, this is just really exciting stuff for us to be able to see you guys out there winning more jobs and making more money. So again, thank you to the hardworking JobTread team who has helped to build this and make this available. Thank you all for all of your usage, for everything that is going on. We really are just accomplishing goal after goal, milestone after milestone. So kudos to everyone out there for all the hard work that has gone into this. I also want to welcome two new amazing team members to JobTread. Nolan and Natalie, they are both rock stars. They both owned their own businesses before joining the team. They're a great addition to our marketing team here. Nolan is a videographer, going to help us continue putting out lots of great content, educational, content, to webinars, to product trainings, everything video-wise. We've seen how big of an impact creating video and publishing that on YouTube has been. And so, really excited to have him here helping us keep doing that even better. And Natalie brings a whole lot of experience with digital marketing. We are going to ramp up the advertising. The thing that's been really incredible about our whole growth is that this has been entirely inbound. We really don't do very much cold calling or prospecting. Everything is inbound, but we know to hit our goals for next year, to go from 2,000 to 4,000 customers, we're going to need to start upping our digital marketing game. And so Natalie's got a tremendous amount of experience. We're so excited to have here helping us build that out. So welcome, Nolan and Natalie. Very, very excited to have you joining the team. And just so you all know, we just finished our planning for 2024. We're looking to hire 14 more people onto our team. So we're looking for, really amazing customer success representatives, people who have got experience in construction, who are passionate about technology. Hopefully they've used some sort of a construction, project management software. So if you know anyone, please do send them our way. We're looking to hire 2 immediately, and then, a couple more next year. We're also bringing on additional trainers. We're bringing on more customer support, bringing on more sales. So the company is continuing to grow, and we're really excited that you guys have helped us enable this growth and be able to afford that. So, everything that we're making, we're turning right around and we're reinvesting into the team so that we can continue supporting our product and our customers in the best fashion, in the best way possible. All right, I am so excited about JobTread Connect. It is just right around the corner now. January 17th to the 19th. You guys, if you hadn't gotten your tickets, you definitely need to get them. We've got over 300 people that have registered and going to be here at the event. So we've got a cool little preview here that I want to show you now. Hopefully everyone can see this. So let me play it. This event is going to be off the chain, y'all, and I'm so excited. We have got so much great content that is going to be produced, over 30 ed sessions. We've got tons of speakers. I want to give a special shout out to our sponsors. We've got over 20 sponsors this year who are going to be at the conference. They're helping us fund this event to keep the cost down as affordably as we can. We're spending several hundreds of thousands of dollars to be able to put this event on, to be able to bring you all of this great education, to help you take your JobTread skills to the next level, to develop your business skills, to find great partners who can help you continue building a phenomenal business. So these are the sponsors. Again, they're most of them are in the JobTread marketplace. Do reach out to them. We'll be putting some little teaser videos about what they're going to be, talking about at the conference. You'll be seeing that coming out over the next couple of weeks as we lead up to the conference. But again, you don't want to miss this event. This is going to be the best JobTread Connect we've ever had. We're hoping to get 400 to 500 people out to this event. So if you hadn't gotten your tickets, do get them. It helps us to be able to plan the event. So, right there in the marketplace, you can grab your tickets. You can learn more at jobtreadconnect.com. We can't wait to see you there in January. And also want to highlight again, builder stories. Like, this podcast has really taken off on us. We publish episodes every single Wednesday. There is so much great learning and education that you can gain by tuning in and by listening to all of the different guests. They're all business owners. They're people running similar businesses to you. They've been through the same things that you're going through to hopefully overcome all of the adversity, the challenges that they've had. It's a phenomenal podcast. We've had tons and tons of great feedback. I appreciate everybody reaching out and letting us know how helpful this has been to you. So if you're not tuned in yet, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, you can listen directly on builderstories.com. We're also looking for more great stories. If you want to share your story, if you want to, help others learn and grow from the lessons that you've learned along the way, please do reach out so that we can get you on the podcast too. We appreciate all of our guests who've been on there so far for sharing their stories, and would love to hear about how helpful it's been for you as well. And lastly, JobTread Pros. I just want to give a huge shout out to everybody who's in this Facebook group. You all have been tremendously helpful for us, sharing your ideas, collaborating, helping each other take their businesses to the next level. Thank you to Anna and to Travis and to our entire team for, being as involved and responsive as we possibly can be. We love seeing all of the engagement. We love being able to help you learn and grow and improve your JobTread usage. And I also want to thank all of the discussions, the feature requests, everything that's come out of this has just been so helpful for us. And we just want to thank you again for being part of this community and for helping us make JobTread the best possible product that we can. And with that, I'm so excited. This is we are approaching 1 year from releasing our feature request board. It did get a little bit unwieldy for me trying to manage all of the feature requests through the Facebook group. Obviously it's a pretty rapid fire at times, but since then we rolled out last January our feature request board. We have had hundreds of feature requests that have been put on there. This year alone, we have already completed over 150 of your feature requests. Since our last town hall, since the last time we met and did this product live, and I think it was October, we have already completed 20 more of your feature requests that have been closed out. And I'm going to be going through those today. So I want to thank you all for taking the time to upvote those features. They directly feed into our product development roadmap. It has helped us tremendously be able to prioritize the things that are most important to you all. Without further ado, I want to jump into these product updates. So, we're going to be covering a lot today. Again, we have taken all of your feedback. We have looked at the things that we think we're going to make the biggest impact. Obviously we have to kind of keep our bigger vision in place here too, but there's a lot of things that we're going to dive into and unpack. So super excited about this. And again, I want to give a shout out to the JobTread development team. These guys are hard at work every single day, often working at night. I see them on in the weekends. We are just a really, really, fortunate group to have our development team making this happen and building this application as fast as they have been with all of your help. So shout out to the dev team. Let's see it in the chat box. If you think we got a great dev team, I would love to see some love going to them. I'm pretty sure they can see the chat now. We've got the whole team sitting in our team lunchroom watching this. But yeah, again, thanks guys for everything that you do. All right, so let's dive in here. First, we have had, a handful of photo and file updates. we improved that file viewer. We've made now any size, PDF, photo, they're all viewable on all devices. There were some issues beforehand. That's all been squashed. You can now zoom in on the files and the photos there. You can pan, you can go full screen. Again, so much great feedback was delivered to us that really helped us to be able to make those improvements. Other big thing, I was hearing this all the time, over the last couple months, you can now copy existing files, that you've already uploaded to JobTread directly to the cost items in the budget. It's a small update, but it's gonna, I've already heard how many times people, were getting frustrated where you had to download the file and then re-upload it. So glad we got that knocked out. I know a lot of people are really happy about that. And I also want to announce, I'm not going to do a demo of it today just because we've already released so many things in the last day or two, but we do have photo markup, being able to draw on your photos, on your plans. All of that's going to be coming out in the next, we'll call it by the end of the year. Very excited about this update. Again, it's one of the top feature requests, so we're getting it in there. And I'm not going to tell you what the next big surprise is coming after that, but there's something huge that we'll be talking a little bit more, maybe at JobTread Connect timeframe. But we got some more really amazing updates. Mike, our most recent developer, started earlier this year, has just been crushing it on the files, photos. There's a lot of really awesome stuff that we've got planned and are excited for. All right, schedule update. There were a couple things that, after we rolled out that WIP report, we heard some feedback about, how the basically when you look at the start and the end date of a job, a lot of times there's a bunch of kind of the pre-construction, the pre-sales, tasks that were there, or anything like after, maybe all your follow-ups, things like that after you've already completed the job. And so people really wanted to be able to have how many actual working construction days is this job going to take? And so now we've given you the ability to set the start and the end dates within that Gantt chart view. You can basically say, what is the day that we're starting construction and what is the day that we're going to be ending it? You can set those now in the schedule, and that's also reported in the in the job views, even in the WIP view. When we look at the number of scheduled days, all of that is taken into account now, so you can run reports based on this information. The other big update that we just rolled out, I think it came out yesterday, was being able to view the task availability, the availability schedule at the main organization level. We first added it on the job level where you could open up and just kind of see half screen where you're scheduling and half screen everyone's availability. Well, everyone's like, this view is awesome, but we want to be able to more easily get to it and not have to go through a job. So we've now added that at the main top level so that you can quickly see all the availability of everyone. All right, additional cost item insights. So we have added a bunch more insights into the cost items page within the catalog. So this is going to really help you, better understand your cost, but be able to understand where have you been using these cost items. You can see that unit cost by month, as well as, the price. You can change the filters and kind of look at over certain date ranges. But the other neat thing is that now you can also view where are all of these cost items being used. So obviously if you're building out, budget templates or those catalog cost groups, a lot of times you're using these existing, cost items in various groups. And so, being able to now see that is going to help you make sure that you know where those are being used. You can also now see every job budget that cost item has been added to, as well as every single document. So again, you now have the visibility to go and, if you really want to dig deep into where those cost items have been historically used, now you can see all of that information right there on the cost item page. And you can just click right on it and you can go, drill in and understand it. It's a big, helpful update. So I'm super excited that our guys got that in there. The other neat thing related to the catalog is that we've now given you a way to see the differences between the job budget line items and the catalog line items. So if you are, working on a job, making changes, and you want to be able to either push those updates to the catalog, you can do that. Or even if you just want to see how, the changes are, what has been different from what is in your catalog, you can now review all of that. And then you can decide if you want to make certain updates push back to the catalog, or if you just want to be aware of them. You also have the ability now to click to directly open up a cost item in the catalog. So just a ton of, updates here that we hope will really help you kind of continue keeping everything up to date between your catalog and your jobs. You can do this on a one-off basis, or you can do it as a mass action. I'm also really excited to let you know that we're going to be adding the same feature and functionality directly to the documents. So when you're creating documents, if you've made changes there, having the ability to be able to push those back to the budget, right there from that document view, that'll be coming out, at some point here in the near future. Again, we've heard you loud and clear. We understand you want to make it easier for these, updates to be, shared between the catalog, the budget, and the documents. And so that's what these tools will do for you. All right, we have also rolled out a Nice Job integration. Really excited about this. The team at Nice Job was great to work with. Their APIs was really good. We've made it now where essentially you can decide, when you want to send your customer contacts, to a Nice Job campaign. This is going to help you automate making sure that you're collecting reviews from your customers. You can basically have a default campaign for all of your customers that are getting pushed in from JobTread. It's a one-click to enroll them in the campaign, and that sends the contact information over to Nice Job. We've heard great feedback so far. They're offering a promotion if you sign up through the JobTread integration. Definitely, get in contact with them. They're also going to be at JobTread Connect as one of our sponsors. So, really excited about this integration. It really just, highlights again the value of us having an API and being able to create these integrations with our partners to, again, create one connected ecosystem for all of our JobTread users. All right, another great feature request that came out of JobTread Pros came from our customers. We heard you wanted to be able to view all of your daily logs on a calendar view. Sometimes it can be easier to kind of go and see what action, what daily logs have been created for every single day, by who, what job. So we got that calendar view out there for you. You can also kind of filter, who, maybe if you just want to see one of your team members, you can do that. You can hover right over a date. If you want to add a daily log directly from this calendar, you can do that. And you can also export as a PDF to kind of, again, have that calendar view there. So it was a, little update, but we hope will make a big, help for you guys to keep everything kind of more organized, be able to view it at a bird's eye view. All right, let's keep it going. Is everyone still with me? Let's see. What's everyone think so far in the chat? Let me take a quick little second here to take a drink. I'm curious. How's everyone liking it so far? Looks good. All right. Awesome. Looks great. Love it. All right. Here we go. On to some more exciting updates. And we're getting to the big stuff here in a second, but we've made some time updates as well. So we now have 3 different ways that you can view your time entries. Before, we had what we called the entries, and then we had the summary view. We've essentially renamed the summary view to be the weekly view. It gives you a lot more insight, kind of on a day by day, rate by rate. But we've got this new, what we kind of renamed and now call the summary view, is going to just give you a breakdown of all of your time tracked users and the rates, and then the total hours that they have completed over any given time period. You can, again, you can view it all time. You could select a time period, last week, this week, last month. You can do a custom date range, but this is essentially setting us up to, really have some awesome updates that are coming out with our Gusto integration. But we're excited to be able to bring these updates so that hopefully, if you want to download all this into Excel, you can do that. If you're whatever kind of, however you're doing payroll, whether it's with QuickBooks, with Gusto, with something else, we're continuing to try to provide you the best reports that you may need. We've also added some new filters here. So you can now filter by the rate. So if you just wanted to see all of the overtime hours for a period, you could do that. And you can also, if you're on a job, you can now filter by the line item. So again, we heard all the time, people, if you're in the budget and you expand that time column and you want to click to see exactly all of the time entries related to one particular line item, right? Before today, when you clicked it, it took you and it just showed you all the hours for that one person. But now when you click it, it's going to show you just the hours related to that specific line item for that person. So again, just giving you some more tools to really help you drill down and understand and analyze your time data. So yeah, very, very exciting update here. And we got a lot more coming for time too. So definitely stay tuned on that one. All right, let's see. What do we got next? All righty, here is a big one, custom notifications and reminders. I know, we have had like hundreds of people, asking about this and wanting this, and the feature request is sitting there right at the top of the feature request list. So without further ado, we have rolled that out as of this morning. You can now create custom notifications. You can create reminders. The neat thing about this is it's very flexible, and we're allowing every organization to define your own notifications. We didn't want to hard code them. We didn't want to do it in a way where it may not work for everyone. So we're giving you the power to create those. Now, there are all of the same standard notifications. Those are already available, and you can turn those on and off, for each of your different roles, for your internal users, for your external, your customers, your vendors. You have the ability to define, those defaults for everyone. These are going to be custom. These are going to be things that may not have been covered by the standard notifications. So they may be, activity based, whenever a record changes, like, a job is created, or a job created is a standard one, but let's say, job, updated, maybe a particular field like the job status, or maybe the lead status field for an account has been updated. Maybe you want to get notified for that. Maybe you want to have time-based reminders. So, 3 days before an invoice is due, you want to remind the customer, on the day that the invoice is due, you want to remind the customer, when a task is going to start today. Maybe you want to remind all of your workers. Like, you've got so much flexibility here. We're going to dive into this in a live demo, but it gives you a lot of power to really define what you want to get notified about. And you can get push notifications, or you can get emails. They're just, it's a very powerful tool that, that we're excited to see how everyone is going to be able to use it. Now, this is a very, what we call expensive, not necessarily from a cost perspective, but from a server resource perspective. So what we've done right now, we've rolled it out, we've limited it to 10 custom notifications right now for every organization. We want to really kind of see how, you get in there and use it. Again, making sure that you leverage the standard notifications first before creating custom ones. Now, there's a few things that, I want to point out here. You're not, like, none of your users, nobody will be notified about anything that they can't see. So if they don't have access to it, if they don't have permissions and visibility, they're not going to be able to get a notification for it. The second thing, so for event notifications, which would be like, a record is created or updated, or, something like that. If you do the change, you won't get notified because you just did it. So obviously we're assuming that you knew about that change. So when you get in there, maybe if you're trying to do testing or things like that, just note, you can't do it, for your own notifications. We just, again, you already knew that was going to happen. So we're not, going to send you a notification for that. Now, that's only for like when a record changes or something like that. Now, for reminders, yes, you will be notified just like everybody else. And the last thing I want to point out here, you get to essentially define those default notifications for all of your users by role. Now, as long as they haven't turned off the use default notifications option on their profile page, then, these will essentially, be what everyone's going to get notified about. Now, if they've gone onto their profile page and they've customized their notifications, then as you add new custom ones, they would need to opt into those. So just keep that in mind. If someone says that they're not getting, new notification or a reminder or something that you've created that you thought you made available to everyone, ask them to go and check, have you, turned off to use the defaults. All of your new users, all of your, anytime a customer, vendor, sub, trade partner has been added to JobTread, the default is enabled. So you will be able to, assume that those are going to be what they're going to get notified about. We're going to dig into this more. It's super powerful stuff. I'm really excited. The developers did a great job enabling this, and there's a lot of architecture that had to go into making this work. So definitely excited to see how you all will be able to leverage these custom notifications and reminders. All right. Hope everyone's excited about that. I'm super excited. Here we go. So big updates to the job dashboard as well as to the portal that we're now going to talk about. On the job dashboard, we heard everybody say, we really want to be able to control who can see the contact information of the people involved in the job. You wanted to be able to see their phone number. You wanted to be able to see their information right there on the job dashboard without having to click back to the customer account. That was a huge thing. We heard you loud and clear. We're excited to be delivering this. And we're also bringing a lot more organization to this job access list. As it was before today, it was just one long list. You had all of your internal users, your customers, your vendors. Everybody was just kind of all jumbled together. It was very hard to find the people you're looking for. So now we've organized it by role. So you're always going to see the customers up top, and then we've got our internal users, and then we're going to have all of our vendor, the vendor users below those. And so there's some really neat things that you can do right here. So everyone, if you have view access to a job, you're going to now, for all your internal users, you're going to be able to see this list of people. Now, if you have the edit job access permission, then you're going to be able to do some of these additional features. So you can change the user's roles directly from the dashboard here. So let's say maybe you didn't have a default set for your vendors, for your external vendors, and you see, if you ever see it says no role, you can now directly assign that role right here from the job dashboard. You can now, view the role. You can see their company and their title right here. So, if we see under the, under this right here, we've got Alex vendor, so we have AM Construction is the account name, and it's got owner is the title. So you're going to be able to see that right there on the job dashboard. You've got the phone icon. So if they've got a phone number in their user account or, in that vendor record for that contact, you will be able to you can hover over it on the dashboard if you want to see it, or you can just click it and it will call. So if you use calling through your computer, if you click that, it just automatically will pull up your phone app there. Or if you're on the JobTread mobile, when you click that phone button, it will just dial it for you. We've made it super easy for you to be able to just click to dial right from the job dashboard. We've also got now the ability to very easily send a message, and so what this little message icon is going to do is that's going to populate right here in the comment section for that particular user. Now you can click multiple of them too, and it'll just kind of build that out so that you can then send a message very quickly to each one of them. And so, yeah, and we can also right here. So if you see kind of the person icon, this is going to allow you to show that contact card to your customer users on the portal. And then the little truck icon, that will allow you to show that contact to the vendors on the vendor portal. So, again, lots of feedback. John Hanlon, shout out to you for really helping me understand the importance of this. So he leverages a lot of, trade partners and wants them to be able to easily directly reach out to the customer when they're on their way, or to schedule when they're going to come out and take some measurements or whatnot. And so now you'll have the ability to automatically share those customer contacts with your vendors on that vendor portal, or, again, maybe with the customer for some reason, probably less likely going to happen, but maybe you want to share with them your trade partners, or you want to, probably the most likely scenario here is that you want to share the project manager's information, or maybe the estimator's information. You can now share who is going to be on their project team by giving that access right here on the on this access list here. So a lot of really awesome updates coming. I'm going to show it to you in action in just a second. We've also added a couple other neat updates. We've sort of just some small UI tweaks to the to the custom fields. You can now just click to edit just one custom field instead of it opening up every single one in an edit view and kind of moving the screen around. You can now just click on one field to be able to directly edit it. We've also kind of improved the layout, and so it's a better use of the space. So I'll show you that here in a second. But I know that's one of Casey's favorite features. You can still update all of the custom fields at one time if you click edit job, or just click to each one of those. But yeah, so these are some of the updates here for the job dashboard. Want to see is everyone excited about that? If who all's been wanting that, because I know we had just tons and tons of people have been asking for that for a long time. So I'm curious who's excited to use that. The other neat thing is that you can also set in the role, in the permissions, and I'll show you this. You can set who will automatically be shared on the portal so that you don't have to do it every single time. Chad said, didn't know I needed that in my life. Do now. Yep. And the other neat thing too is that, when you create a brand new job, you will see a suggested contact for the customer. Obviously we already know if there's a primary contact for that customer, like we're going to make it where it's just one click to be able to add them and give them access. This won't though send them that notification automatically. So again, if you wanted to go ahead and share their contact information on that portal without notifying them yet, you can now do that. So, we've thought that was going to be the most flexible way, but obviously you can still message them to let them know about it, or you can do the send notification to alert them that they've been added to the job, or you can just let it happen naturally when you send out that first, proposal document that will automatically add them to the job dashboard. All right, so now let's look at the portal. Really excited about this too. Again, we've heard the feedback. We've studied, how others, have done it. We've collaborated with a lot of you. So we've got some general kind of UI updates that I'll first highlight. We've now made the very top navigation a little bit taller on the portal so that that your logo is going to be a little bit more prominent, a little bigger. If you all have a logo that you feel like doesn't quite look as optimized as you'd want, maybe it's like a square logo or kind of a little bit odd shape, let us know. We can give you some suggestions on how you might want to size it, things like that. But again, kind of trying to bring some more prominence to your company so that when that customer hits that portal, that's what they're seeing. We've entirely hidden the left navigation. If your homeowner has just one job, if this is the first time they're using JobTread, we have essentially hidden that left nav bar. Their profile will be linked up in the right, so they can still kind of hit the profile. They can sign out from over there, but we've just really kind of removed all of the extra stuff to help them just focus right on the job dashboard. That will be just for any external user who's only part of one job. Once they're part of multiple jobs, then again, we add those additional sidebar, navigation elements, because that will help you, be able to see all the tasks across all your jobs, the daily logs, documents. It is a very beneficial tool when you're part of multiple jobs. But if you're not part of multiple jobs, we didn't want them to, basically see kind of a lot of the same information in the left nav versus, at the top of the job. So we've just kind of, hidden all of that for them. As you see here, we have also added the ability for you to share a financial summary directly on the portal homepage. And this works both for fixed price jobs, where you're going to see the approved price, the amount paid and the remaining balance, as well as for cost plus jobs, where it's going to show a couple additional elements for, the cost related data. Now, one thing to note, these summaries right here, they are going to bypass the sharing and kind of the permissions for that customer user on the documents tab. So again, sometimes maybe you were kind of creating change orders, or maybe you weren't sharing all of the underlying documents for whatever reason. We felt like it was important though that they could still see kind of the overall, here is the approved price and here's the amount paid, the remaining balance. So just kind of one thing to note, that again, in documents you might have draft, you might have pending, like anything that has been approved is what is going to go into this financial summary. You also have the ability to turn this on and off in the permissions. So if you do not want to show this, that is totally fine. Just leave it off. If you do want to show it to your customers, you can create a role, and in there is a permission that I'll show you in a second to enable this feature. If maybe some customers you want to show it and others you don't, then you can create two separate roles, one of them to show it and one of them that doesn't show it. We've given you the ability to kind of toggle this on and off. So hopefully everyone's excited about that. I know that has been a huge, I see Nicholas here, game changer. All right. The other super awesome thing I'm really excited about, the action items. So now right there on the job dashboard, on that customer portal, they are going to be able to see all of their, number one, any invoices, go make those, those payments. If you've got an open invoice, here it is. They can just right there, pay now, click straight to it, make a payment. you know, any proposals, selections, change orders, any documents that they need to review and approve are going to show up there in that action items list. As well as if you do assign task to your customers, they will be able to see those right there in the action items list. We're not going to show, you know, like the whole, you know, if you got 10, 20, however many you may have, we only show, I think, a handful of them, and then you can click show more there, but we're going to show the most important ones right up top and just make it as easy as possible for them to know that they need to take action so that we can get your orders approved, we can get your invoices paid. This also works for your vendors. So for your trade partners, if they've got a purchase order or work order that they need to accept, they're going to be able to see that right there. If they've been assigned tasks that they need to go and take action on, they can see those right there on the job home. So we think this is going to be a really great enhancement to really help kind of steer people to those action items right when they land on this job page. And the other really neat update, again, heard a lot about it from people. So before today, your external users, your customers and your vendors, they didn't have a way to app message anyone. They could just post a general comment, you know, on the job dashboard here or on the documents. And so, you know, now we have given them a way to app message anybody that you have given them access to see on the job dashboard. So right here, and we'll see this in a live demo, but I could just click this bubble icon, and it's essentially just going to, again, just like it did when you're logged in, it'll populate their name and let them send a direct message, you know, to you so that you can see that. So again, just do note, if you share your vendor's information on here, that's going to allow the customer to be able to send them a message directly. Now, you'll still be able to see that in the activity feed, but just keep that in mind that when you're sharing the contact information for people and you're sharing those contact cards right there on the portal, that does enable the customers to be able to send those messages to them. So hopefully everyone's really excited about these, you know, these portal updates. I know they've been, you know, a lot in the in the works. I see Darren. This is the best update for sure. We have been patiently waiting. Again, I appreciate everybody's patience. You know, obviously, you know, we can't, you know, do everything all at once, but that's why the value of, you know, being able to collaborate, being able to use those feature requests, you all can help us prioritize the things. You know, sometimes there's some, you know, some predecessors, you know, things that, you know, we have to do before we can get to some updates, but again, really excited about these right here. So let's hop into a demo and let me show you some of this stuff in action. All right, so first and foremost, we'll go kind of knock out this this catalog one. So, you know, maybe if I come over here and I just look up my you know, maybe this granted option here. So again, right here we can see that breakdown of the, you know, the cost per month, the price. You know, again, you can come in and you can filter this however, you know, whatever date. If you just want to look at, you know, a particular document, you can. Again, we can see all of the vendors, you know, that this item has been used with, all of the cost groups. These are the templates that this item is used in right there. You know, if you're ever trying to, you know, delete something, it says you can't delete it because it's being referenced somewhere else. Like, this is going to help you find where it's being used. You know, same thing. Here's every single job that this cost item has been used on. And then below that, you know, we're also going to have every single document that this item has been used on. So again, hopefully this will kind of help you track down, you know, wherever things are being used. That's going to help you figure out, you know, where you need to kind of go dig in and look at it. We're going to go to the task. We got an availability view right here. So this is, you know, again, we've added it as a default, you know, as what we've called availability. You know, you can, you know, create and save whatever, but, you know, it's also kind of a new type here. But this is that same job availability list that you had on the job. Now you have it at the top level. And what we've done too, we've added some additional enhancements here where it's going to actually show you, you know, and it's organizing it first, kind of your internal users, and then it groups them by role. So you can see all of the roles, you know, right there grouped together. You've got their names. You can see, you know, what they've been assigned for that day. If you wanted to come in, I see Nate, you know, he doesn't have anything. So, you know, I could come in here and I could directly create a task for him if I needed. You know, and as I scroll down, we'll get, you know, kind of farther down to the external users, again, by role. So here's all my, you know, I got one framer, I got a sub, like I can see all of that information. We're also showing, you know, the account name and the title if they have it, you know, so this is going to be a great way to view the availability of all of your users, you know, in one easy to see place. We've got the daily log calendar. So if we come over here to the daily log, Now, again, we still have the list view, but now you can toggle to the calendar view. So, again, I'm seeing everything here. We're looking at December. Looks like we had a couple days in November. I can scroll back, go back, to look at November now. I'm seeing all of the daily logs that were created, in this calendar view. Again, I hope this kind of helps you be able to visualize and find the information you're looking for. You still do have the detailed list, and you've got all the filters just the same, where you can filter by user, you can search, things like that. So you still have all of that right here. But, again, great update. We think is going to really help people. Drilling over here into the time. So again, we've got our main time entries. We've got our weekly time view now. So again, this is breaking it down by week, Sunday through Saturday, all of the hours that everyone's logged, it's summing them up so that you can see, and it kind of even gives you a little breakdown of, the rates and the hours here. But this is, by week. So if you're really, though, a lot of times people were looking for this summary view. So again, maybe I just want to come in and I just want to look at all of the hours, this week. I can now see all of my users and the different rates, as well as the total for a particular time period. So maybe, if you run payroll, maybe you want to do, the last 2 weeks, or this month or last month. You have the ability to come in here and see that. Now, do note, again, just like before, we've got, approved, unapproved. You can really come in and kind of review what you might need to see, what's unapproved versus what's approved. Maybe we want to, see everything, but I just want to see a particular user. You can do that. Or maybe I just want to see a particular rate. Maybe so you got lots of different options to again, further create these time reports that will help you to better understand, what needs to be created in your payroll system. We have been debating, we had some great feedback and discussion about, potentially showing some additional information, such as, what that actual dollar amount may be. I'd love to hear people's feedback. If you think that would be helpful. Obviously it's based on the fully burdened rate that you've entered in the, in for each of your users. But yeah, that was just kind of one of the things we're looking at there. And the other neat thing, though, so again, if we switch over to, I'm going to go switch to this job, so when I'm now in the job, or maybe I'll come over here to the time view, this is where now when I click to open up, if I just wanted to drill in and see one person in particular, I can click on their name. So this is the demolition item. I can click on that and it's going to now take me here. And so you can see it filtered it for that particular line item. If you had, again, people clocking into that same line item over and over beforehand, there was no way to view that right here in this time view. So now you can choose all of your time trackable hours there. I could obviously, clear that out. If I wanted to kind of see everything, for this particular job, again, I see, we've logged, all time looks like 139 standard hours. We got 5 overtime and we got, 144 hours total. Again, maybe I wanted to just view this week, or, maybe I'm interested in trying to understand how long have we spent on, on our fence labor, so it looks like, yeah, I worked 16 hours on that. So, you can now kind of really drill in a lot more. And then just also note all of these exports, they will now export what you see right here on the screen into an Excel file. So super helpful. Definitely want to hear kind of more feedback and ideas. If there's anything else we can do to further improve how this, the time tracking, the reporting, all of that, we definitely want to hear how we can keep going and make it even better for you. All right. So while we're on the job, let's look over here at the schedule. This is again where we can come in and we can set the start date. So this blue line, is going to show you the start and the end date. So, I see here I've got it start on permits. Maybe I want to actually start this on the lot clearing. So I can actually just click on that task. And this is where I can now set that to be the project start for this job. And again, this is going to take and kind of be, used for the calculations of the, actual days for the job. And then the same deal, for the end of the job, we'll be able to see wherever we had that. So one of the neat little shortcuts, again, just go to task. That's going to show you kind of where you're at. So again, you've got that blue indicator that's showing you the end of the job site. Really helpful. The other neat thing that I would point out too, in case y'all aren't using it, you definitely want to really use this baseline feature, right when you finalize the schedule initially, select everything and then just hit set baseline to current. That's going to essentially at that point in time, set the baseline. But again, things change, things happen. When you need to, you can shift out that schedule and you're going to see exactly where this got off track and what happened. And so this lets you kind of understand what in particular, caused your job to get delayed and at what point. So another really great feature there. One other update that we'll talk about, so on the on the job here as we go through and look at this, maybe I'll switch back over to the overview. So I told you again about the ability to see the differences, from what's in the catalog. And so, this is where I can just click here and I can hit update, permits and catalog. So just always know it. You're going to have the ability to review it before you actually, save it. So for this particular item, it's showing me, that we've got, kind of what we have in the catalog versus what's in the budget. So I see here, I've got, $350 is in my catalog on this particular job. I updated the cost to $400. Maybe I want to choose just that and probably the price to update. But I don't necessarily need to change the quantity. So you've got the ability to do that, right here in the job budget. But the other cool thing, again, you could just select all and then click this mass action to update the cost item catalog. This is where, again, it's going to show you everything that has been changed. And so, here, maybe I don't need that one. I'm just going to skip that one. Oh, I can go back here. This is that permits one we were looking at. And again, you can click on any of these and see kind of if you need to see more information about it, but maybe I just want to update the cost and the price. So I could just hit update just for that one. Maybe I don't want to do that for all of them. Maybe I do. Like, you've got the option to go through. Now, one thing we're about to make one little tweak right now. This is pulling up every single item, even if there weren't any changes. So I believe later today we're pushing out where it's only going to show you the items, so that you can kind of scroll through them and see just the ones that have changed. But at any point, just like when you're using our importer, once you've decided what you want to come across, you can hit update remaining, and that's going to update every single thing that has been changed. So definitely encourage you to kind of go one by one, make sure, that you're updating what you expect, but you can do this now en masse. And like I said, too, we're going to add the ability to be able to do this directly on the documents as well. So that, again, if you want, if you made changes on the documents, you want a mass update back in the budget, you'll be able to do that. All right. So let's go back to, let's go back to the job. We're going to go to the dashboard. So now we're going to drill in here, look at some of these updates that we were talking about earlier. So again, all of the contact information right here, here's the phone number, the ability to just click and kind of send, we're populating, who do I want to send this to? Maybe I want to send it to, to both of the customers there on this job. I can do that. Now I can send that message and it's going to automatically send it to him. Now maybe I don't want to send it to her. I can remove them as well, but it just quick little add there. All of the options that you have to preview as user, again, change the role. If you want to copy the link, send the notification, like, you still have all of that information right here available to you in the additional menu drop down there. Again, the ability to kind of add, whose information you want to share. So if you want to share your customer contact with your vendor, then you can do that right there. If you want to, decide who do we want to show, their contact info with either, both the customers and with the subs, you can do that. And again, you're seeing their role. So maybe I want to share that with everyone. Maybe I have Bill on here. He's not the lead project manager, so I'm not going to share his information on the portal, but I still gave him full access to the job. Again, same thing here. All of your trade partners, you can come in here and decide where you want to share their information. Really, really powerful stuff there. So let's go ahead. We're gonna just go preview this on the customer portal. So again, we've got the that summary showing up. We've got our action items here. One click just takes me straight to be able to pay that document and go back to the home. Again, here are the people's information that we've shared. If they need to call them, if they want to send a message to them, they can now do that right there. From there, maybe they want to also message one of the subs. Like, they have that ability to do that right there from the job dashboard. We think this is a much cleaner, much more organized way to view all of that. But again, it's up to you if you want to show the financials or not. If I come back over here and we'll just change this job to a cost plus job real quick, so you can see what shows in that scenario. So I'll preview as a user. So now you see we've got the cost to date, the projected cost, the projected total, which is basically your price. how much they paid and what the remaining balance is. So you've got those, kind of two different options based on the type of job that you're running there. So let's see what else. Now, the other thing I want to highlight, is that these custom fields. So again, now the text is going to kind of come all the way to the left. Before it wasn't utilizing all the spaces as nicely. You can see I've got this, if I just need to change this one thing here, I can make that one update. I could update multiple fields if I want, but it gives me the ability to just kind of, one update at a time and not necessarily kind of have the whole thing open up. Because if you got a lot of custom fields, sometimes that can kind of open up and shift things on you. What else? So so let me show you a couple of the permissions here, because obviously this is very important how this is getting controlled. So over here, well, first let's come look at the customer role. So we've got the ability now to show the financial summary on the job dashboard. If you turn this off, none of your external customer users that are assigned this role are going to be able to see that. So that's where you can turn it on and off. If you want to automatically share this customer's contact with all of your vendors, if you basically want that automatically toggled on, then you can enable that here, and that will automatically share their info. Again, very, it just kind of really helps you streamline that. Again, we can also set all of those standard notifications as well as your custom notifications, and we'll come back to that here in a second. Now, if we're looking at one of our vendor roles here, again, we've got the ability. Do we want to share their information automatically with the customers, or do we want to share their information automatically with the other vendors? You've got those options, as well as being able to set the standard and custom notifications there. Same thing with all of your internal users. If you want to automatically share the customers, and automatically share it with the vendors, you can do that. Now, one thing I'll note, before, so the default admin role, there's typically just one role, that's the default called admin. If you would rather show, owner or estimator or project manager, even if they are admins, you'll want to create another role so that you can name it so that, and just say full admin access. So that way it appropriately shows the title for everyone in that role. So those are the updates there. Yep, I think we got that. Now let's while we're here, let's kind of go look at the notifications. So this is a new tab in the settings. This is where you're going to be able to see all of your standard notifications, as well as now we can come in and create custom notifications. I want to note, we added these standard notifications here because, again, if you want to come in and let's say, there was, every time a job's created, maybe you want to notify, certain people, instead of having to go role by role to enable these notification defaults, you can now do it across the board for everyone right here. So as long as they still have, this right here, this use the default notification settings enabled, then that's going to control that for them. So there's tons of different notifications that are standard in the system. We definitely encourage you to look through those and make sure you know what is available already as a standard notification before diving into the custom. Now, here's where we can come over to these custom notifications. So, just one example here. I got, when a COI is expiring, I want to notify, somebody on my team. I can come in and I can basically set, how many days, before. I mean, I could do weeks, months, years, before or after. And then I can even set a time that I want it to be notified, because here I picked a specific field. This is a custom field. If I needed to add additional filters, maybe I only want to, I want to filter that somehow by, by the type, or by, any one of your custom fields. You can add additional filters in here, and then you can also set up the default who you want to get notified. So, here I want to notify the owner and the project managers. Hey, this sub COI is coming up to date. Make sure everyone's aware so that they start hitting them up to get that update, obviously, or you shouldn't pull them onto the job. But let's come look at a new one. So when I'm creating a new custom notification, you give it a name, you can have an optional text. This will be included in the notification body. And, and I believe that the name may also be in the subject of the email that they get notified about. But, here you can set that. We've got the type. So this is the most important thing. Is this an event based? Is this something that just happened? Like a record updated, like an account was created, a comment, a day log, anything that was created in the system can be an event that just happened. something just happened. And then once we choose that event, we're going to then add some more filters. So let's say, we wanted to create, maybe anytime we'll just say like a job, let's say maybe a job, the job status has changed. So I've got a custom field called job status. So I could basically, you have the new value and you have the old value. So this gives you a ton of power to say, maybe you just want to say when the new value is approved or estimating or whatever. And, you could even filter it further, saying when the old value, when it went from a particular value to something else. Or maybe I just want to say whenever there is a new value, that means that something changed. The new value is what it is changing to. So maybe I want to get notified every time the project status changes, then I would set that here as the filter. The other neat thing though, let's come over here. Let's look at the reminders. So this is where I can say, hey, I want to choose, how many minutes. Maybe I'll say, let's just say 1 hour. 1 day, 1 week, we'll say one day before something happens, before or after something happens, and then I can come in and I can choose all of those custom fields. So again, this might be when, the vendor COI expires. That is a custom, date time field that's going to allow us to use that in this reminder, or maybe it's based on the task start date. Or maybe we want to get start time, which is, going to get even more granular, but maybe I want to notify them, 1 day before a task starts, or maybe I want to notify them, 1 day, 0 days. I want to notify them, at, 8 a.m. or 6 a.m. or whenever you want to notify them. You can come in and you can set when you want these reminders to go out. Again, maybe we want to filter this so that it's not for every single task. Maybe we want to come in and say, only if the task name contains, some particular, naming convention that you're using. Maybe you create a, job start date and assign that to every single one of your vendors so they know the first day of that job. And so you could look for that particular, that particular task if you want, and just notify them for those, or again, maybe we want to, do this based on the document due date or a document issue date. So this could be maybe our proposals are due today, or maybe I want to remind them, 1 day before, 2 days before, 1 day after, that their invoice is past due. You can come in and you can create that where you'll be able to set that notification. So based on document date, the issue date, again, you can come in here and we could say, maybe I only want to do this for if the type is customer order or customer invoice here, and the status is pending, so this is, pending, open, payable. Those are kind of all the document statuses that represent that pending state, so again, you've got the ability to really create these very, filtered, very, focused notifications and reminders here. This is going to be a very powerful feature. We're excited to see how you all kind of get in there. Again, we realize that this is probably a more advanced, implementation, but, again, we wanted to set it up to be very customizable, for everyone. So, you've got all that in here. Yeah. So those are the notifications, reminders. I think I've covered everything. So in the interest of time, I'm going to run back here. I want to talk about what's coming up. And maybe while I'm going into this, I'm curious. So yeah, in the chat, curious, is everything looking good? Everyone following along? We can get into some, some Q&A here in just a minute, but, yeah, really excited about what our development team has been able to accomplish, so let's talk about what we're focusing on in the future, kind of as we do every time. I want to give you kind of those most immediate things that you can expect, will hopefully be rolled out the next time we do one of these, JobTread live product updates. So, we're going right into communications now. We're really excited about this as well. We're going to create a central inbox, for kind of across all of your JobTread, but also, right there on the job, being able to have, that message center so that you can much more easily kind of just like, on iMessages or whatever, where like you can see all the conversations, all of the messaging. We're excited to get into that now. We wanted to get this notifications out of the way. But yeah, lots of stuff that this will be a very large project, an ongoing project. The first step is going to be getting in that new message inbox and allowing you to send, messages and kind of have the full, who it's to, subject, body, hopefully, even attachments, things like that. And then eventually we'll take it a step further, but that's step one. Photo markup, like I said, you're gonna be able to draw on photos and files. That's coming out in the next couple of weeks. Really excited about that. The document updates. So we're gonna, essentially enable you to create, let's say, customer orders, really any document where you can basically say, this document will not affect the budget. So if someone goes in and approves a document, but you don't want it to affect, the approved price or the approved, cost for the job, you'll now be able to do that. We have heard from tons of you about how this would really, just make it so much easier for you to be able to work with, designers, architects, even if you want to give your customer a ballpark proposal that, is just kind of a very simple, hey, here's kind of what we're looking at. Are you good with that? But then you want to, once they approve it, you want to follow up with a detailed proposal. We're going to get into all of the details and take the time to build it out. That's going to allow you to send that initial one where it won't affect the budget, because right now, if you were to do that and then you send another one that's more detailed and they approve both of them, that's going to double up the approved price and budget. So we think this is going to be a great way, to really help kind of improve being able to use this with other people, as well as kind of giving them that initial, kind of ballpark proposal. This will work with selections as well. So really excited about that. I think one other maybe enabling you to potentially even hide, the totals on the documents. So going to have those coming out here, fairly soon. We're very excited about the Gusto integration. A huge shout out to everybody on JobTread Pros who, saw when I needed to get some support and we needed to rock the boat over there to get their, to overturn their denial of our integration. You all did tremendous. We went in and just flooded their feature request box. We immediately got to start talking to the top people. And yeah, we are now in the final stages. They're doing their full review of our integration, a very extensive kind of, checklist and things that they're having to go through. So we expect it, hopefully, end of the year, very beginning of the year, this is really sort of out of our control at this point. They told us to expect in here, could be up to, several, 3, 4, however many weeks. I really don't know. We've got the holidays in, but, very excited about this Gusto integration that'll be coming out soon. We're also going to be releasing a really neat feature called the audit logs. And so, as you can imagine, since you're able to create those custom notifications based on all those event changes and things that are happening, well, we have all that data. We're just not currently exposing it to you. And so we're planning to go and create custom views, where you can basically see a report of everything that changed, on a customer or a lead account, on a job, on a, whatever it may be. You're going to be able to see, who made what change, when, what was the old value, the new value, so if you want to, really kind of look at, and let's say you want to analyze, your lead stages and kind of how long people are sitting in each stage and what's happening and who's making those changes. Like we're going to just unlock so much more insight. We've got all this data. We just need to give you a way to view it and explore it. And so we're really excited about this update. It's going to be a really neat way to really kind of unlock so much more insight for you. And lastly, this is a bigger thing that we've been working on for a while too. This connected organizations. We have been very, very fortunate to be working with some very prestigious franchise groups that have given us tremendous insight in how they would need to be able to roll out JobTread to all of their franchises. We've also been working with a lot of bookkeepers and accountants to set this up in a way that works similar to like how the QuickBooks accountant settings work, where they can kind of switch into different client organizations. So we've got some really neat updates that we think are going to help us be able to onboard many organizations and set them up the same way, based on, their franchise, templates, or based on, how their bookkeeper, their accountant wants, their defaults for their cost codes and their catalogs and all of that. This is going to really help us continue scaling, JobTread. And so we've got some exciting updates that'll be coming, later this year and in the very first part of Q1. So yeah, obviously, as we can, we always try to balance, working on much larger projects with also being able to take some of the smaller, some of the just kind of, lower hanging fruit type things, the things that come in that just, make total sense. It's a no brainer. It's going to take us, an hour. We like to try to sprinkle those in throughout as well. But yeah, these will be kind of our next biggest rocks. And As always, you can keep up with everything that's happening here directly in the help desk on the What's New section. We try to do a very good job about keeping you in the loop with publishing, kind of content and videos about what's changing. You can see all that directly in the help desk here. We also typically publish those on JobTread Pros and in our Facebook group, as well as on our YouTube channel. So definitely keep an eye on that right there. And also want to remind you, we have, tons of live trainings. Anna has done a phenomenal job leveraging her curriculum, her background in education and organizational change management to create a very focused kind of curriculum to help onboard new JobTread users. So there's tons of JobTread courses that you can, tune into live, or you can watch the recordings. We've also added these new crash courses that we've been doing live, and they're recorded. Those are much more kind of in-depth, but role-based. So definitely encourage you to check those out. The JobTread, 201 with selections and allowances is a great one. The formulas and parameters, JobTread 202. I'm sure we'll be adding some more that go over kind of the notifications and communications, but, definitely if you feel like you need to get some more in-depth, learning and training, then these are a great place to go. And if you do it live, you can obviously ask Q&A, right there on the spot, or you can watch the recordings at your leisure. Lastly, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to all of you all who have gone out there and given us these reviews. Like this has been tremendously helpful. Our biggest challenge at JobTread is creating awareness. The market as a whole probably still doesn't really know about us. And so, your reviews, you're sharing it on your social media, you're sharing it, talking about it when everyone asks, what CRM or what, job management system are you using, chiming in and speaking up. Like, this has been so helpful. This is how we have been able to grow. And this enables us to continue hiring and building out our team. So I want to thank you all for all of the amazing reviews. Please do keep helping us spread the word. I will say, my marketing team has asked me to announce we need 19 more reviews on G2 by the end of the year. So we got like 3 more weeks to get recognized in some bigger annual, listing or ranking or award or some sort. So, if you like what you've seen today, if you're willing to take a couple minutes to go and do something that would be tremendously helpful for us, we would really, really appreciate it. G2 is the place, that just kind of right now we're really trying to get, a handful more. We do have an email that we can send you that gives you the direct link to these, or you can just Google any one of these plus reviews. I'm sure you'll find it pretty quick and easy to get those set up. So just again, thank you so much for helping us spread the word about JobTread.